I think ultimately any global portfolio will involve, it starts with the client, right? Understand what your client needs. So that's going to be strategy. A lot of times the strategy is defensive in nature. Sometimes it's offensive in nature. You are going to pursue protection depending on the client's strategy. Budget is another thing, right? What's the client's budget? What forms can they afford protection, which are not? That can be dictated by business and otherwise. So start off with the client. Start off with what they're interested in. Second thing is understand the complexities that you may be involved in prior to filing anything. So for instance, as many of you may know, you cannot change an application typically after you file it. So if you know that you're going to run into certain issues like subject matter eligibility or other things like that, in certain jurisdictions, they pay more attention to that, right? So if I'm going to be filing in the United States and Europe and elsewhere, I know that in Europe, they prefer a problem solution approach, right? So I'm going to add that into my application, even if I have to file in the United States, right? Ideally, you want to have one application that can work globally. So understand the various jurisdictions that you're going to be filing in. Understand that some are followers of others. Understand how you can leverage patent prosecution highway and other programs like that, and create a filing strategy, right, based off of those things. Something else to keep in mind is when you're filing in a lot of jurisdictions, translation becomes important. So not only in terms of cost, but also in terms of like paying attention to little details. One example is, for instance, the case got translated, went to another jurisdiction, and the United States are litigating it. It came down to claim construction. Essentially, what does a certain term mean, right? Certain term, the claims, what does it mean? They went back to the translation. In the original text, that claim wasn't even, that word that was at issue could not even be found in the original text, right? So when you're dealing with international applications, pay attention to translation. Don't just fish it off and expect that the translator will have done their job. The translator tries to do their best job. It doesn't mean that it's legally sufficient, right? So there's a lot of complexities involved. You can also consider timing. So since until 5-6 years ago, Australia was a venue that would be considered to get a quick allowance. Not so much anymore. But so you're going to file overseas in multiple jurisdictions. File in Australia. Even if you don't want coverage there, file there. Get the approval, use the PPH, right? There's strategies like that you could have pursued in the past. It's changing. Every year it's changing. So understand the dynamics of the world that you're going to be filing in, and then pursue that with all the various parameters in mind.